Freewell sent me this thing and look at it, it's huge. I mean, I have to attach this onto that. And then there's these huge filters that I have to slide through like some sort of guillotine. And look at this one, looks like the inside of a McDonald's fries container. But when I look at the results, I mean, color me impressed.
That's just my attitude. Yeah.
Alright, so have you ever wondered what would happen if a variable ND and a Madbox had a baby? Well, you're in luck because Freewell gave birth to that baby today. They called it the K2 Versatile Magnetic Filter System, and just like its name, it's truly one of a kind. It basically allows you to significantly improve any footage captured outdoors with any lens on any camera, and even add some creative effects to it. Freewell just released this kit today, but I had it for a while so I could test it and make this video for you guys. But this is not a sponsored video, I'm not getting paid, and I intend to give you my most honest opinions. If you're a regular on my channel, first of all, thank you. But also you may remember that almost a year ago, I reviewed Freewell's previous variable ND kit, which is very similar to this one, but also very different in many ways. Just like the previous Freewell system, the new one is magnetic. So it is very easy to swap variable NDs and polarizer filters on the go to get the look that you need as your filming conditions are changing. The only thing that you do need to screw onto your lens is the actual base of the kit. But one of the big improvements on the K2 system is that it comes with its own step-up rings. So it truly is a one-size-fits-all and future-proof system. So you just pick the ring that fits your lens, attach it very easily to the base of your system, and that's it. The whole thing is now fitted to your lens. Alright, so by the way, I'm not going to talk about the variable NDs and polarizers in this video because I already covered them in my previous review, which I'll link somewhere if you're interested. Instead, I'm going to focus on these things. There are filters as well, but they're creative filters, which allow you to give your footage a certain style or creative look on top of the work already being done by the variable NDs and polarizers. All you need to do is open this part right here, and you can just slide the filter in. By the way, these are only included in the more expensive version of the kit, or you can also buy them individually. But either way, I'll talk more about the pricing when I give you all my likes and dislikes and recommendations at the end of this video. So the first filter is pretty basic. It's a mist filter, which makes your image softer. The goal is for your footage to look a little bit more like film and a little bit less like digital video. It is a very subtle look though, and I personally like it and use it as much as I can, but it can get tricky when there are lights in your shots because a mist filter will create a blooming effect around these lights, and sometimes that works, but sometimes it's just way too much. The next filter I got from Freewell is a Soft GND filter. GND stands for Graduated Neutral Density. And as you can see, the idea is that the top part of it is partially darkened, but the filter becomes more and more see-through towards the bottom. The purpose is mostly to keep the bright sky in your wide shots properly exposed without underexposing the field and the players at the bottom. I'm not a huge fan of this for sports, even though it may sound like a very convenient solution, and I'll let you know why in a minute. But first, here's the last filter that Freewell sent me. This one is called Gold Streak for obvious reasons, and when a source of light goes through those streaks, you get some pretty cool lens flare action going on.
I'm sorry, homie, I don't mean to be flawless. Yeah, I seen that envy and yeah, I would've saw this. Yeah, and when you shoot your shot and make you a target, you're getting got, they wanna take all your pockets. Ooh, hey, it's a gift, I avoid all the nonsense. Yeah, don't be a hater, it's no good for your conscience. Yeah, you from this world, I'm from somewhere far beyond it. Yeah, ask me how I get this good. Oh, you can blame it on my attitude. Yeah.
I mean, in the right context, it looks really good. But just like the mist filter, in front of the wrong lighting source, it can be disastrous. So ultimately, here are my conclusions. I really like the build of this thing. It is durable. It definitely looks and feels like it can take a few hits. Also, the magnets are strong. They're definitely not a liability. But it is quite big though, so the size might be a slight inconvenience for someone using a small lens on a small mirrorless camera. And even for me, because of the shotgun mic on top of my camera, it was a bit awkward to insert these creative filters properly, especially the GND filter, which is longer than a normal filter and goes through the system so that you can adjust it up and down to get the exact exposure balance that you need. Speaking of the GND filter, I'm not a fan of it for sports at all. I mean, it's only for wide shots, so if you're filming establishing shots only, then yes, go nuts. But if you're filming a game and you're trying to capture the action, every time you zoom in, the players' faces are going to be super dark and it would be way too hard to manage the filter in real time while handling everything else that you normally have to deal with in terms of exposure and focus and all that. So establishing shots during pregame, yes, but everything else, not so much. The mist filter, as I said, I really like it. It's a look that I personally enjoy very much. And the gold streak filter in the right conditions, I really like as well. I think it adds a lot of creativity to your footage, especially in super slow-mo, with no extra work at all. But I wouldn't use it all the time though, so for example, if you're filming at a game with it and it looks good, I would use it for the first half only, so that way the final edit wouldn't suffer from lens flare overload, because as much as I like lens flares, this is very much so a less is more situation. So should you buy this thing or not? My opinion is that if you don't have any variable NDs at the moment, you're basically starting from scratch in the filter game, then this bundle is a no-brainer. Because even though it looks expensive, it's still much cheaper than starting with just one 2 to 5 stop variable ND and then buying a 6 to 9 and eventually buying a mist filter and then eventually buying step-up rings for your new lens and so on and so on. But just so you know, there are variable NDs that you can buy on Amazon for way cheaper than this bundle, but they won't be nearly as good in terms of quality. They won't be as convenient, they won't offer as much range, and more importantly, the colors will definitely not be as accurate. So yeah, this is a great way to get everything you need all at once, either with the starter kit, which does not include the creative filters, or if you have an extra $50, might as well get the Creative Capture Kit, which comes with the mist filter as well. But if you already have 1 or 2 variable NDs and you're super happy with the quality, all you're missing basically is a couple pieces to complete your filter kit, then I wouldn't recommend starting all over again from scratch with this new kit. It'll be a much cheaper exercise to just buy the couple missing pieces and finish the kit you already have. Anyways, if you want to learn more about the quality of Freewell's variable NDs and see me use them in the field, simply click on the video on your screen right now. Otherwise, as usual, thank you for watching. My name is E, and I hope I earned the privilege of your time.